So, just from that clip, obviously, for Obama, Trump is not a white whale boogeyman. They looks like they were getting along like old college buddies, reminiscing about the good old days when they were roomies in a dorm or something like that. They're getting like old chums getting along so well. It looked like in there from that clip that was during the Jimmy Carter funeral, or before the funeral, or sometime that was where it was at when that happened. When they were chatting away there, Trump and Obama laughing along. So yeah, so obviously, yeah, for Obama, Trump is not the boogeyman. He's not. So yeah, why then is so much of the partisan Democrat for so much of the partisan Democrat electorate? Well, why is Trump the boogeyman, the white whale? Well, I think it's, I can only theorize, hypothesize as to why that is the case. My theory is that it's a result of a Machiavellian plan by the Democratic Party through their operatives in the media, both the regular legacy over-the-air media, the radio and TV, and through the new media, the internet. But either way, they have operatives that are the influencers, so to speak, on the radio, TV, and internet, and they are operating according to this Machiavellian type of plan, methodology, strategy of it is the problem. So yeah, the Machiavellian strategy of problem, reaction, solution. So what the influencers on radio, TV, and internet that are the partisan Democratic influencers, they stir up this problem of Trump as the problem. So Trump, he's the problem, and in order to really make it more of a problem, which will result in a greater reaction from the audience, the influencers, they become clairvoyant, and they can themselves, by that I mean they can predict, all of a sudden they can predict the future with certainty. They say, oh, this is going to all these horrible things are going to happen under a Trump administration, and they don't provide a whole lot of support for that. Of course, nobody's clairvoyant. Nobody can predict the future, especially with any accuracy, especially of something so complex as societies and the government, how the whole geopolitical, both domestic and international occurrences happen, and how somebody is going to govern, how everything's going to interact and work according to in the future, what's going to happen in the future. So I mean, it's very difficult to predict the future with any great degree of accuracy. But what they do, these people that are these professional personalities, partisan personalities, they've developed the techniques of saying things in a knowing tone of voice, such that people they'll believe it just because of that knowing tone of voice that they use to say, when Trump gets in office, it's going to be fascism, he's literally Hitler, all these, it's going to be just horrible. And then they maybe come up with these just long list of these things that are going to happen, as though they know with some certainty that these things are going to happen without providing much of anything in the form of an argument or evidence to know that supports their position that these things will happen. But they say it in such a knowing tone of voice and to an audience that already trusts them, because they may have in the past presented good arguments for other situations, for other circumstances, other arguments and other positions that they've made in the past, and so now their audience trusts them. So now, when they say things without providing anything in the form of a good argument or evidence, the people still trust them and say they just go along with it because they say it in a knowing tone of voice, and psychologically that's influential to the audience. An audience does not require the evidence because they already trust that commentator. And so, of course, I'm quite certain I was not just simply asleep during my logic class in college to know that there's no such logical form as somebody says something in a knowing tone of voice, therefore true, that what they say is true. No, no such logical form exists. But that's for the party, for a political party, that doesn't matter. What matters is whether they're able to psychologically influence the audience. And I think with that, you're saying something in a knowing tone of voice, if it's successful in influencing the psychology of the mass psychology of the audience that's listening, then they're going to do it because it provides more power for the party. When the mass psychology is backing the party, then that's what their goal is, primary goal. So problem, reaction, solution is the Machiavellian strategy. So when these influencers on the radio, TV, and internet, the professional partisan Democratic Party influencers, they just stir up the lather of the audience, saying all these horrible things are going to happen under Trump. Well, that results in the reaction of the audience, the mass audience, say, "Oh no, what are we going to do? This is horrible. We're going to be under a fascist dictatorship under Trump because these are influencers said so, and they said so in a knowing tone of voice. So that must happen. That means that it's going to happen." So that's the reaction in the audience. That's the second part. So now they'll be looking for the third part of the Machiavellian strategy, the solution. And then, of course, those same influencers that stirred up the problem, they created the problem in the minds of the audience that resulted in the reaction from the audience, demanding a solution. Okay, so then it goes right back to the influencers again, and they prefer a solution, which is, support the party. That's the only way that we'll have any chance of getting through this is if the party has unanimous support. If they circle their wagons, everybody just circles the wagons around the party, and it just has a very solid support. You donate to the party, really get that unified partisan, everybody behind the party, the unity there. Because the only problem there, of course, is that has a deleterious effect on the unity of the nation. Because now the partisan electorate are all unified against the other party, members of the other party, and so that becomes a divide. We end up with a divided nation. So of course, I'm not saying that this doesn't happen in the side of the Republican Party. Of course, it does. I'm neither Democrat nor a Republican myself, but it seems like it's really been over the top as far as this treating the Trump as the white whale. This fixation on Trump as the boogeyman has really been over the top, leading up in the campaign here and during the during the Trump presidency and now leading up to this upcoming next second Trump presidency and during the campaign, but it, like I'm just trying to say that as that clip showed there between Trump and Obama, that's not the reality is not how it's being portrayed by these commentators, Democratic Party partisan, even though they're not may not ostensibly be a member, party officials. These commentators on radio, TV, and internet, they may not ostensibly be part of the Democratic Party. They, I suspect, they are. Unofficially, I suspect they're getting payola even from the party. But I have no evidence whatsoever of that, no direct evidence of it, anyways. So I'm not naming any names. I'm being very generic here, deliberately. But yeah, these influencers that are so they're just stirring up the lather of the base, the Democratic Party base, over Trump. I think that I suspect they are on the payroll of the Democratic Party, and they're doing this deliberately as a plan from party headquarters to strengthen the party, but it's at the expense of the strength of the nation as a whole because it's so divisive. And when you look at that interaction there, that really just shone the light of the actual reality of things, how things work behind the scenes. I think you saw a rare glimpse there, I should say, between that candid interaction between Obama and Trump, showing how things really work. That they are as George Carlin would say, I'll paraphrase, they're in an exclusive club, Obama and Trump, and we, the plebs, are not in it. So we should be uniting for causes that are together as a nation. We should be uniting around causes that are in our interests and in our favor, rather than the plutocratic class that both Obama and Trump are a part of. And that I think nothing can be more apparent than that, more demonstrative of that than see that the whole healthcare issue that has come to the floor more recently, as we can look back at the last 4 years and note that the Democrat Biden, Harris, and the Democrats in power in Congress and the presidency, they have not lifted a finger to expand Medicare, let alone have Medicare for all or have anything resembling a public option. They have not lifted a finger to do that. And so, but now they're saying, oh, they're being sympathetic to the alleged in that one case. The thing is, what they should be, if the Democrats had in power the influencers, if they had any authenticity, they would have been calling out long ago from the Biden inauguration, from the beginning there. They should have been calling out for some sort of government single payer program, a Medicare, for whether it's Medicare for all or a public option, some kind of public health care. But now only recently, very recently, and the incident with the CEO, only say, oh no, yeah, then we'll get in the debate now. It's meaningless without any kind of legislation, and that's what they have not done anything about, the Democrats. Instead, they've done just the opposite. They've done back during the campaign, who was the ones that rallied to keep Bernie Sanders and his Medicare for All off of the Democratic Party ticket for president. It was the billionaire donor class that were influenced by the health insurance industry. They're the ones that kept Sanders and Medicare for All off the ballot. And after that happened, the Democratic Party, the partisan influencers I'm talking about, that treat Trump as the boogeyman, well, those are the same influencers. They just went along with that, bullying Sanders and Medicare off the ballot. And then they're saying nothing the last 4 years about the lack of anything, any effort whatsoever to get any kind of public option legislation put forward. And then you could go back to same thing happened in 2016 when once again Sanders was they get partisan Democrats did everything to keep Sanders off the ballot, and so that instead Hillary Clinton was on the ballot. Now, during the 2024 run-up to the 2024 election, who is it that made sure Biden got off the ballot? I have no problem having him off the ballot. He never should have been president in the first place, I do not think, but who was it that kept Biden off the ballot? That ended up, he wasn't going off until who kept him, who pushed him off? Oh, I know, it was the billionaire donor class, the billionaires, once again. So who is in charge, who do you think is in charge of the Democratic Party? It is the billionaires, the plutocrats. And so they're all in this together. The Republicans and Democrats, they're both run by the plutocrats. Basically, they're both part of the same de facto party, the plutocratic party. The wealthy, they're looking after the wealthy interests at the expense of the plebs. That's us. But instead of us uniting, so that just instead of finding ways to unite us, they find ways to divide us, and then over in this case they divide us over Trump. They think, oh, he's the boogeyman, the white whale. Oh, no, he's not the boogeyman. The boogeyman are the billionaires, the billionaire donor class from both parties. They're looking over their interests at the expense of ours. So that's where we're really being the whole constituents, electorate from both parties are being thrown off the rails. I would like to see the whole partisan system be done away with. Now, I think it should be free to join a party if you want to. Go ahead, but there should be no involvement on the public side of things. There should not be no designation on the ballots when you go to the ballot box of what party they're from. Same thing should be in Congress. There should be no recognition of parties in Congress. It should have nothing to do with who gets on the ballot or who doesn't get on the ballot. Parties should not have no say on that matter as well. So there should be absolutely no recognition of parties on the public level, because parties only divide. It just causes it causes people to revert back to their sort of a clanning, feuding mindset. Just one clan versus the other, and it ends up being like a professional sports teams. One side's for like the Vikings, the other side's for the Packers. So they're enemies of each other, and that is a disuniting force to this country. The whole country, it gets disunited through the partisan bickering. Of course, when the billionaires want actual change, well, they just instruct the parties in Congress and the president to, suddenly there's this miraculous partisan agreement, miraculous bipartisan coming together. Oh, isn't it a miracle? But no, of course it's not a miracle. It's because the billionaire plutocrats, the ruling class, they want something changed. So or the order everybody, oh yeah, get along together with this on this matter, and agree to this. So of course there is going to, because there's the parties are really being run by the billionaires. So then they go, oh yeah, let's do this. We're going to agree on this matter because, well, the billionaires want them to agree. But where they do not want change, where they think everything's just going along swimmingly fine, well then there's partisan gridlock because the billionaires don't want anything changed, so they order the parties to disagree and have this gridlock. Oh, we can't do anything because there's a gridlock. But no, really, it's no gridlock. It's just that the billionaires like things just the way they are. And that's how things really work in the reality, I believe, in the political realm, in the legislative realm. Okay, so I think I've covered everything I wanted to talk to for now. Things that were on my mind for the time being. So if you're still watching, thanks for watching.